Brent crude has extended its gains, reaching its highest level since 2014. That's as geopolitical tensions in the Middle East intensify, while concerns about the demand impact of the Omicron variant eases. The attacks by Houthi rebels in Abu Dhabi are among the worst to date on UAE soil. And keep in mind that the UAE is the third biggest OPEC producer, and as a consequence, Brent climbed above $87 a barrel. WTI also briefly rose above $85 a barrel for the first time since October. All that adding to bullish sentiment on oil prices, according to analysts, is also the strength in Asia's physical crude market and shrinking global inventories. Now, to discuss more, joining us now is Naeem Aslam, who is Chief Market Analyst at AvaTrade in London. Thanks for being with us today. Naeem, in light of what we have said, would you agree with some Goldman Sachs analysts predicting that Brent might reach a level as high as $100 a barrel in the third quarter? And if yes, why?
Thanks for having me. I think there is certainly a possibility of that because the uptrend is immensely strong. And there are a number of factors which are very much playing on the back of this one. We have OPEC Plus, which is very much reluctant to increase supply aggressively. They believe gradual increase in supply is the only approach. Secondly, we have these concerns, the excessive concerns, the overly, the concerns which were about Omicron influencing global economic growth adversely. I think they were a little bit overblown. Now traders know that this isn't really that serious. And of course, that is a positive factor in terms of our oil prices. However, there is one critical card that we need to pay attention to over here, and that is the rising geopolitical tensions. Of course, we know the current stance that the US official holds against Russia and the possible attack on Ukraine. And of course, all the other aspects of the geopolitical tensions in the UAE that you've mentioned earlier. So the disruption of oil supply. So if there is any disruption of oil supply, we could easily see oil prices soaring to that $100 mark without any problem.
Right. So, Naeem, I mean, you really seem to be agreeing with those analysts that say that these tensions in the Middle East, looking ahead of the next 12 months, really only offering a short-lived boost to oil prices. I mean, you don't really agree with that. Do you think, in essence, is this a more supply-side driven or demand-side driven, looking at the year ahead?
Sure. I think there is definitely a supply issue over here. As I've mentioned earlier, we need more supply, and OPEC Plus isn't really ready to pump extra supply or to go into the excess reserve capacity and then bring that supply back on the market. So as long as we don't see any extra supply on the market, we are likely to see these prices continuing to soar from here onwards.
Naeem Aslam, thank you very much for this analysis.
Thank you.